These are the 12 pieces and base of the pegged gears puzzle. I'm going to set the base out of the way for now. I call it pegged gears because you'll see that there are pegs and the edges is shaped like a gear, so they'll kind of roll like a gear does. In addition to the pegs, there are holes in the pieces. I'm going to sort them out by similarity, meaning this one here, for instance, has just a single peg and only goes through from one side, so I'm going to set that here. This one has 2 pegs in it, one on either side. Doesn't go straight through. I'm going to set that over there. This one doesn't have any pegs in it, so I'll set it here. Again, 1 peg. This one goes straight through. This one goes straight through. It's longer on one side than the other. This one here is longer on one side, the other, and goes straight through. So these two go here. That has 2 pegs, one on either side, but it's not straight through. Straight through, equal lengths. All right, so now I have them sorted out, and you'll notice on these 5 gears here that have a single peg in them that just goes on one side, that 2 of them have a longer peg on them than these 3. These are the first and last pieces of the puzzle. So which one's the first? Well, I start with the peg facing away from me on both of them. You'll notice that this one has a small hole on the left. This one has a small hole on the right. The one with the hole on the right is the right piece to use for the first piece. So I'm going to bring the base back in, set it onto the base so that the peg is away from me, and I'm going to keep the puzzle oriented like that as I put the pieces on there so that this will make sense to you. You can use this method for putting it together. So this is my last piece. I'm going to set it over there. The next piece that goes on is one of these 3, and that peg is going to go down into that hole. So which one do I want? Well, I'm going to turn them over so that this peg is on my right, like that hole is. This one's to my right, and this one's to my right. Now, if you'll notice, this one has the hole to the left and down. This one has the hole to the left and down. This one has the hole to the left and the top one up. So this is the one that I want to use because it's different from the other 2. So I'm going to slide it on there so that that hole went down to that peg. Now these 2 here are going to be one of the last ones that I use. One's going to go here, one's going to go here, and there's another one that's going to go in here when I get to it. Now I want pieces number 3 and 4, and that's going to be one of the ones that have the single peg through them that is of equal length on both sides. The one that I want to use as number 3 is the one that has the 3 holes in a row. So this can go on with this peg going down into that hole. It can either go on this way or this way. So which way is the right way? You just stick it on to find out. Here you can see that they're alternating like they should. Had I put it on this way, you can see that it doesn't alternate. So I'm going to take that back off, turn it over again, put it back on. Now it's alternating like I want it. Now piece number 4 is that other one that had the peg going straight through of equal length on both sides. That's got to go in with the peg into this hole. Well, if I were to put it on this way, you can see that this peg doesn't have a hole to go into, so I have to turn it over. So now I have a hole for this peg to go into, and this one can go down in this way. So that's pieces 1, 2, 3, and 4. Piece number 5 is this one here that doesn't have any pegs. This one here, I want this small hole to my right. That's the right way. And again, this is one that can be this way or this way, so you have to put it on to see whether it matches up. This way is the right way. It matched up. Show you, turn it over, that had I had it up the wrong way, it doesn't alternate like it's supposed. So I'll turn it back over. And now we're alternated the way that we want it to be. The next piece is one of these over here that's one of the oddball ones. It has the peg on both sides, but it's not straight through. The one that I want to use is the one that has the long peg on it. It's going to go down into this hole back here because you can see there's a hole in this one and a hole in this one, so that when this lines up, it's a double depth hole. So this one's going to go on with that peg going down into that hole and lines up with that one, and you can see now we're still alternating. This one here is the one that I was telling you a little while ago was going to go here. Now these two pieces here go in next. They're identical, so it doesn't matter which one you use. First one's going to go in with the longer side down, so I need a double depth hole. And there's only one hole here, so that's going to be the one that's going to be double depth. So we stick it in, and that's in place. Now we have this one. It goes with the long piece up. And now we're together with those pieces. Now we want one of these two pieces here that have a single peg in it. I'm not sure which one it is, so we're just going to try it and see. That's going to go down. It might be this way or the other way. So I'm just going to put it in with the single peg down and see if it lines up right. Okay, so you can see that it's not lining up correctly. It's not alternating. So I'm going to take and switch these two and put this one on with the peg. And now you can see that they're alternating the way that they're supposed to. Now this one here is one of those ones that can go either way again. So I want that peg to go down into that hole this way, or this peg to go into the hole that way. So I'll just stick it on there and see whether it lines up like I want it. It doesn't, so I'll flip it over. And now it does. Now we're down to the last two pieces. Now this one here is going to go on this way. It's a double depth hole, so you know it's going to have to go in like so when it goes in. So to get that, we have to have a double depth hole, which you have when you put it on this way. If you put it on this way, it still lines up correctly where they're alternated, but you don't have a double depth hole over there. So now you put it back on this way, so now you have that double depth hole to put that last piece onto the puzzle.